Hey everyone, Henrichs of Valor. The purpose of this video today is to talk about our latest office in the White House, and I already feel safer. It's the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. Let's go ahead and get started. Folks, you paid attention on Friday. Great day to mention this and a great day to announce it. The acting president of the United States has announced that he has a brand new office in his White House called the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. And as soon as he announced that, I instantly felt so safe. I am so glad that we're taking action. We're doing something to stop gun violence. Now, the details of this, they're still a little murky because he's working it out. He's got the best people working on it. And what kind of people does he have working on it? Well, he's got people working on it like Every Town for Gun Safety, Moms Demand Action, the Community Justice Action Fund. So basically, if you could take all of the radical leftists out there that are like supposedly nonprofit, and you could take all of them and bundle them all up into one. Now they have direct access to the White House. Now he already had all their ears, right? They already had all of Biden. Like he's already paying attention to all these people. But now they get to be an official part of the White House. Now, why did he start this? Well, he started this because of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Now, if you look at what this was Republican. This was led by John Cornyn of Texas, who may or may not have an election coming up down there, and other people like Mitch McConnell. When you start playing little games and trying to reach across the aisle, and you know what you're going to get when you do this, you're going to get your hands slapped every single time. And because of this act, this allowed much broader executive orders from Biden. And so now he's taken that authority and he's expanded it out here. That's why you have so many ATF rule changes. That's why you have so many of these problems happening, is because of that legislation. That was signed in by a substantial amount of Republicans out there, not only House members, but senators. So that's the kind of problems that you're running into. So let me just kind of put things into perspective for you. The timing of this is all oddly suspicious because you had the idiot governor of New Mexico making her little announcement banning the Second Amendment for 30 days. Of course, got immediately injuncted as everybody expected it to. But the timing was pretty close to this announcement of this office. And just like clockwork, guess what? It's not just nonprofit organizations that are getting involved in this. It's not only the governor of New Mexico getting involved in this, but now we get to be lectured by multimillionaire celebrities on why this is important. You know, really smart people like Billie Eilish. You know, really smart people like Sheryl Crow, who oddly enough moved from California to Tennessee, but odd enough, like California already had all these laws that she's seeking to enact at the national level, all these gun control laws. They already had that in California, but she wanted to move to Tennessee. Well, I wonder why. I wonder if it's because California is safer or less safe than Tennessee is. One leads the nation in gun control laws, literally ranked #1 on the gun control index, but is #1 in murders with firearms and active shooters. Another state, Tennessee, is permitless carry, and we aren't anywhere near that. So I wonder what the problem here is. I just find all this coordination rather suspicious, but the next time some lefty lectures you on how much influence the NRA has over our government and how much of their money, children's blood is on their hands, the next time someone says something like that to you, remind them very carefully that Every Town for Gun Safety, Moms Demand Actions, that idiot Shannon Watts, whose life is absolutely useless, who spends her days drinking wine and complaining about how much America sucks because of its lack of gun laws. The next time somebody lectures you about that and tells you how much money the NRA gives to all these candidates and how children's blood is on their hands and how influential they are politically, remind them that at no time in the history of the NRA have they ever had an office in the White House with direct communication with the President of the United States. Rather odd. But I've also found that these people that want more gun control, I've also found that whatever they accuse other people of, they're directly guilty of doing it themselves. So all these things about political influence, all these things about influencing politicians, all these things about money going in it, they are absolutely guilty of that. And the evidence is now they have their own little office in the White House. Now, should we worry about this? Well, not really. I don't think so. He can only do so much. He can only enact so many, just wish that everything was better. And I do want to remind you about the mentality of these people. In the video, Sheryl Crow says, our job is to make a voice that's so loud until it gets louder and louder and louder until it's unavoidable. So in other words, throw a temper tantrum. In other words, scream, whine, cry, piss and moan until you get your way. This is toddler behavior, and I've long held that leftists are arrested development preschoolers who don't understand that you don't just get to cry and whine until the adults say, okay, we give in, you can have the lollipop at the grocery store, and just take the lollipop at the grocery store. Now it's gun control. So they're going to whine and cry until they try to get their way. And then, of course, another gem quote from this, one of the artists in the video is, "I'm not coming for your guns, I just want common sense." Now, I'm not coming for your guns. Now that's been a clarion call for gun control movements for as long as I've been alive. No one's coming for your guns. Well, that's true until it's not true, like we saw with the New Mexico governor. It's true until it's not true when you have people like Beto O'Rourke saying, hell yeah, I'm going to come take your AR-15. That's true until it's not true when you have people like Dianne Feinstein saying, if I could do this over again, I would ban everything. Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. See, that's the problem, is that they'll say one thing and then attempt to do another thing. Look at all of their legislation, their bills that they've proposed. It involves massive, massive gun control, banning the very firearms, attempting to do that people use every single day by the millions, tens of millions that people use. They don't hurt anybody with them. They protect their homes. They protect their communities. And I find it odd that the people that want the most gun control are surrounded by the heaviest security that our tax dollars can pay for. If you're a politician or the president, or if you're an actor, actress, or musician, that you have bodyguards and personal security and live in a gated community. Then they want to lecture us about what type of firearms that we should be able to have. The purpose of this video is to mention just the hypocrisy and the absolute pontification by people who just don't get what freedom means. And maybe instead of being in the United States and trying to tell us how to live, like Peter Gabriel, he's like, he should go to Europe if he doesn't like it here. Of course, he made millions of dollars in the United States, but that's neither here nor there. And the problem is that the hypocrisy of these people knows no bounds. They aren't against the man. They're against them not being the man. And until they can wield all the power of government and try to put us under their little thumb, and they can poke us in the eye at every opportunity, and that they have influence, relevancy, whatever they feel, they're not going to be happy until they've exercised total control over our lives. Well, I got bad news. That's not going to happen. See, our ancestors fought a war against this kind of stuff. People that wanted to take away firearms, people that wanted to take our money, people that wanted to do all this stuff. And the problem is that the good guys won. And the good guys are still going to win because they're losing court cases all the time. That's first and foremost. But secondly, I just don't see tens of million people in the United States being like, oh, here's my firearm. You know so much better about what my personal defense and my self-defense needs are. Now, these people are hypocrites. They're absolutely mentally insane. I think if you did a drug test on every single one of them, that they would fail it. So really, I do this to point out not only their hypocrisy, but just to show you that they are in coordination with one another. They are in coordination in trying to deprive people of rights. And that, to me, shows what their end game is, and we've always known what their end game is. You just need to be aware of it, and don't ever let them tell you that they aren't coming for your guns, and don't ever let them tell you that they're not going to try to disarm every single man and woman in this country. They would gladly do so. Problem is, only you can disarm yourself. Only you can give your guns away. Only you can do what they want if you accept it. I absolutely refuse to accept any of their rhetoric. I refuse to accept any of their authority over my life. They have zero moral superiority in any case whatsoever. History will prove these people as wrong as people that violated people's civil rights during the civil rights era or before that. History is going to show these people as one of the worst groups of Americans that have ever existed. And I just have absolute nothing but contempt for them. I have absolute nothing but despisement and literally hatred for these people in the fact that they want to deprive people of their God-given rights. And because they hate God-given rights, that means they must hate the man upstairs. And he usually doesn't like that very much. If you found the information in the video helpful, subscribe to the channel, follow me on social media, link is down below. And if you want to learn how to exercise your God-given rights, your Second Amendment, come on out to Valor Ridge and we can help you. This is Reid Henrichs of Valor Ridge reminding you, the lessons that we learn are written on the tombstones of others. We'll see you on the ridge.